My new album's called The Old Razzle Dazzle. It's a fun name. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek because it's not at all razzle dazzle. It's you know, a lot of the songs on the album kind of talk about my my writer's block. I had to take a few years off because it just was really hard for me trying to kind of reconcile the whole, you know, showbiz side of things with the personal side of things. And you know, I'm a really personal kind of person, and I'm very much like about my friends and family, and it just the lines started kind of getting blurry after a while. So yeah, there's a lot of songs about that, and also just kind of my love for music and how that became this thing that I was chasing and needed and felt like it was the only thing that could save me, yet it was constantly running away from me. So yeah, it was a difficult subject. When I realised that I did want to make another album, it was like, okay, well, what do I want to say? And it took a while to figure that out, and that's why there's a lot of songs on the album that kind of deal with that process. Like Set Me on Fire is a song that's, yeah, it's about that blockage that I felt and my kind of craving for music to come back to me. I thought that I quit music because I tried to write songs for about a year and it just didn't work, maybe even more than a year. I maybe wrote one song and I was just like, God, if I've written one song in a year, it's going to take me 12 years to get out another album, and this is just driving me crazy. You know, in hindsight, I guess I just needed a break, but at that time I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to say, and it was driving me really mad. So yeah, I just thought I need to walk away from music, and, you know, not thinking that I'm going to come back. So I went to university for a bit, and I studied Australian Indigenous culture there, and I did a bit of travelling as well, just random thing, like I went to India and went down the Amazon, and yeah, like travelling for me, not with a tour van and a bunch of musicians. Hello. It's kind of a song, I'm not really sure who it's about. I think it's about maybe a couple of different people in my past, but it's kind of, you know, that when someone won't give themselves completely to you, you know, you're in a relationship where the other person isn't really letting you in on their secrets or their hardship, or, you know, they're not taking you along for the ride, so it's not, you know, you're not communicating properly, and it's kind of a song that's pleading the person you love to really open themselves up to you and give them your heart. Nashville kind of became the most important place for me for this record. I just kind of fell in love with it. When I got offered Lilith Fair, I hadn't done, you know, shows in years, but I said yes because it was Lilith Fair and Sarah McLachlan, and I thought, why not? And there I met Butterfly Boucher, who ended up producing the record, and she lives in Nashville. So she invited me down there, and I asked her if she wanted to do some songwriting, and so we ended up collaborating, and it just turned into this great friendship, and I met all these other incredible songwriters down there, and yeah, it's just a really inspiring community, and it inspired a lot of the songs, and I guess I knew that I wanted to make the album there. Well, the songs on the record sound very different when I play them by myself, because there's a lot of instrumentation on the album, and a lot of like backing vocals, and it's a really creative sounding record. We just the producers Butterfly Boucher and Brad Jones and I, we got into the studio and we just kind of had fun, you know, like there's a track called Watering Hole where we got a gospel singer from Nashville in, and we you know, stood at the back of the studio and made animal noises, and I played like a toy piano and Tibetan bowls, and yeah, it just kind of sounds like people that had fun being creative. There's a song called Everyone's Waiting too, which is just about that kind of anxiety of expectation and that weight that I felt, you know, knowing that people were waiting for this, and the expectation that I had on myself as well, and how much harder that made it to actually, you know, come up with anything. I'm going to be doing a heap of shows over here and touring with Gautier. I still can't say his name right, I don't know why. I never really dreamt of touring the States when I was younger. I think just because my mind didn't go that big, like I didn't really think outside of Australia. But yeah, when I started touring over here, it was just in a van, and it was kind of quite a slog. And now I can tour in a tour bus, which is amazing because it just makes it so much easier. You can just go to bed after the show and wake up in the next city. Yeah.
And everyone's waiting